Hey guys, Sean here from Momentum, and today I'm going to teach you how to use this amazing app called MyFitnessPal. Now, if you don't know how to use MyFitnessPal, this is exactly why we are showing you. MyFitnessPal is one of those tools that we get all our clients and all our team members to use to help them track their macros, track their calories, and you know why? So they can actually start to eat intuitively. We would love for everyone to be able to eat the food that they like and the food that they enjoy, but you need to understand what the value is. Because if you want to be able to eat intuitively, you need to understand what everything is made of in terms of proteins, carbs, fats, and even roughly how many calories it's worth too. So this is exactly what we're going to do in today's video about how to use MyFitnessPal and how to use it to help you count macros. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to show you what the app looks like. So on the left over here now, you should be able to see the app that I have on my iPad. I'm going to operate from here and you can follow along with me. So this is what the front screen looks like, okay? And the front screen will look like you have added people in. Now from here, what we're going to do is we're going to do a food diary. Once you click this, you can see that I have a previous entry. I'm actually going to delete it. The first thing that we want to do is use MyFitnessPal to be able to help you count your calories. So we need to set up some goals. Let's go to more and let's put goals, okay? Now from here, you go nutritional goals. The very first one, you see calories, carbs, proteins, and fats. If you click that, now you can start to see what you need to do. The first thing is, when you're using this, you may not know how many calories to eat. And I'm gonna say this very, very clearly. MyFitnessPal is not a great way for you to lose weight because it actually adjusts all the calories a bit too aggressively. So if you need some help on that, let me know. I can help you out with that. I highly recommend you have a coach to help you with this too, because MyFitnessPal is very aggressive when it teaches you how to lose weight fast, okay? That being said, you can see my calories at the moment. It says 2,000. I'm going to adjust this for the time being to 1,800. There we are. Then you can start to adjust your percentages. Now for me, like I said, I am also a coach. I teach people how to do this. I prefer to have my calories to be low in carbohydrates and high in fat and protein. That's just me. For everyone else, they may prefer having higher amounts of carbohydrates, lower amounts of fat, and higher amounts of protein, which is absolutely fine. This is not something that you need to understand. This is something for your coach to understand. For those of you who do want to know more about this, you can click over here to one of our playlists and it will teach you more about the 101 of carbohydrates, fats, calories, and also protein as well. So hopefully that will help you out. But I'm just gonna help you with this part right here. So I've got all my goals here. I've got 90 grams of carbs, 180 grams of protein, and 80 grams of fat. I'm gonna adjust this a little bit because it's a bit too low for me. So I'm gonna adjust this to 25. I'm gonna adjust my fats to, my protein to 35. And then, you know what, that actually doesn't look too bad. That's quite close to my current goal at the moment. Currently a little bit close, okay? Now there is ways that you can do this. When I train my clients, I actually link it to another app that I own, and then we link it to MyFitnessPal. MyFitnessPal is actually what we don't use. That app that I've synchronized it with, you can start to see a countdown of everything. Anyway, not part of the point. Let's go back to the start. So now we're gonna go back into food diary, and you can start to see how we can log food in. Now the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you how I logged in some food. So before you saw me put some popcorn in, and I'm gonna show you how we actually did this, the first thing that we're going to do is grab our scales and then grab a bowl. From there, you're gonna pour in how much popcorn you wanna eat. Once you put that in, take how many grams it is. Then we're gonna go into the input. Now you can actually, and you should probably, do this before you start eating. You should actually measure how much you can fit into your macros, so to speak, especially if you have a caloric goal. So from here, what you're gonna do is grab your phone, open up MyFitnessPal. You're gonna go to the exact section where it says add and put it into what section it is, breakfast, lunch, dinner, or snacks. Then you're gonna click select barcode, scan it, and then you're going to adjust the actual weight to what you did. Now here's a little tip for you guys. Just change it to 1 gram. Then from there, adjust it to what you weighed. And that way you don't have to do math. You don't have to do this 100 grams as a serving size. And then you have to do like 0.22, unless you really want to do that. Not my thing. So that's the first tip that you can use to help you use MyFitnessPal. Now, what I'm going to teach you now is how you can start to do things that are a little bit more difficult, because not everything is going to be on the database of MyFitnessPal. Not everything can be scanned, and not all the small cafes or restaurants that you go to are going to show up on this database. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, for example, if you go out for breakfast, okay? A big breakfast, so to speak. And this way I'm going to say it's going to be 2 eggs, 2 rashers of bacon, and also pancakes. Now this is where the issue lies. So back to the screen, I'm going to put it under breakfast again. If I just put big breakfast, this is going to be a bit too broad for everything that you go out for. From place to place it's going to vary. That's not what we want. It's not going to be accurate enough. So already straight away you can see JCL big breakfast, McDonald's big breakfast, Asda big breakfast, you know what, Harvester big breakfast. I'm just going to select this one, and it says this is the problem: 0 carbs, 0 fat, 0 protein. It's got 980 calories, but it's not specific enough. So you know, if I select that one, I'm going to put that in breakfast. I'm going to do another big breakfast in the lunch section just to give you a comparison. Say I choose McDonald's, okay? 740, 51, 48, 28. Now this is what it's actually going to be. I'm going to put in the dinner. I'll put 2 eggs. And I always like to tell people, if you use the same data on your MyFitnessPal each time, even though it may not be 100% accurate, it's going to be consistently wrong for you to be able to keep adjusting the same amount. So don't stress too much. So I see 2 eggs. I'm going to go with, we don't want 2 egg whites, we just want 2 eggs. So we're just going to put eggs. Okay, sorry, I actually did that wrong. Once again, nothing perfect, okay? So we have 2 eggs, we've got large best matches, and I'm just going to say 2 of these. Decimal, delete, 2. From there, I'll put bacon. And I always use the same pieces of bacon each way. So we go bacon, generic, 2 pieces, sounds good to me. Then from there, I'm going to add in some pancakes. Now a generic brand that where I'm from, I'm in Perth, WA, in Australia. We have one called, oh no, Golden pancakes, okay? And I use pieces, so maybe you can use grams as well. So you go 1 gram, maybe I weighed it. You know, it says 1 gram, 1 pancake is about 25, so I'm gonna put 2 of those. And then from there, my eggs, bacon, maybe some sausage as well. And we're gonna call it beef. Most generic, once again. Beef sausage, 1 gram, 1 each. Let's go, we had 2 of them, because that's a pretty common amount. Then we go hash brown, because usually everything comes with a hash brown. And what I'm trying to really teach you guys here is that each one that you use is that you're meant to break down every single thing, and you can start to learn. So for example, with this breakfast that I've added in, I've got 2 eggs, 2 bacon, 2 pancakes, 2 sausage, 1 hash brown, or 1.2 cups of hash brown. That comes to 1,712 calories, as compared to 1,560, which is McDonald's, and then a random one, which is 980. So this is where it starts to get a little bit confusing. Sorry, I said 1,102 for those 2. Let's start again. So now you can start to see the differences when it comes to these big breakfasts. For the one I did manually, it's 759 calories. For the McDonald's one, it's 740 calories. And then for the Harvester one, we saw 980 calories. You can start to see where these things start to be inconsistent. And the next thing is, the Harvester one has no carbs, fat, or protein. So it doesn't give us as much data as we like. So don't get me wrong, calories in versus calories out, but we like to understand where things are, because we don't know if this one's counting for 1 pancake, 2 pancakes, or 20 pancakes. We need to make sure we understand it. So break it down to what the actual plate holds, as opposed to the name of the meal. So another tip that you can use as well is this one over here. And this is for people who tend to know what the weight of the food is. So I've done this. Let's go to snacks. I've made one of these before. Sean's protein, as you can see, for 1 gram. And this is a really useful tool when you start to become greater. This is a really useful tool for those people who get better with intuitive eating. And you can kind of eyeball how many grams a piece of food is. So say if you've gone out and you don't want to bring out your food scales, but you've done it for a few weeks and you understand how maybe 300 grams of steak looks like, you can go into, hey look, I know 300 grams of steak is roughly around 40 grams of protein. You literally just type in 40 grams of protein. Then you can estimate how much fat would be in there. And that's what we call intuitive eating. When you start to level up even more from there, you don't need to log it. You can just kind of sit down and go, hey look, I had a lot of fat because I had that big breakfast. Maybe at night time I have lower fat, more protein that is leaner, and also some carbohydrates because I haven't had much carbohydrates throughout the day. And that's exactly where we want you to be. At a place where you can actually be more intuitive with your eating. Because the biggest thing is some people get really caught off. Let me tell you a little bit of a story. One time I was very unprepared when I went to uni and I was looking for something to eat. Usually I pack my food. This time, didn't. Went to the cafeteria and I thought to myself, what is the most beneficial food that I can find in this oven, so to speak, because that's where all the pies were. And I said, you know what, the spinach and ricotta one shouldn't be too bad. Ate it, tastes great, don't get me wrong. Then I looked at it and I read the package and it said 45 grams of fat. At the time I was prepping for my bodybuilding comp. I only had 55 grams of fat throughout the whole day. So I still needed to fit 200 grams of protein, 150 grams of carbohydrates, with only 10 grams of fat. That was the hardest thing that I can think of because I didn't prepare myself and I didn't read the food before I started eating. So that's my little tip for you guys. But if you can start to be aware of what you're eating and understand what has high amounts of fat, I definitely do not forget that pastries have high amounts of fat now. Anyway, I hope this was helpful to you. MyFitnessPal is a very good tool, but it can be very overwhelming. And my tip for you guys is to keep practicing. Now, if you need help, I think you should join our free Facebook group. If this is something that you can see yourself using for long term to help you become the fit foodie, why not just send me a message on Sean.momentum on Instagram. We're also taking consultation calls for people who are interested in joining our team. So I'll put the link in our description box below, and we're happy to have you part of the team. Thank you guys. I hope you guys keep practicing because the biggest thing is nothing is perfect. You just gotta keep making progress and practice one day at a time. Thanks guys. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. If you have any questions, put them down below as well. And I hope you guys keep building momentum.